Welcome home. I'm Ryan.
I'm Elie.
And it's been 4 months since our last episode. And it was kind of not a scheduled break, but it became a break. And a lot has happened in the last 4 months.
Yes.
And I think the next episode and this episode will be talking about what's been going on, what we've been doing, and how we're feeling, and what are the next steps. And I don't have anything to drink today, but Elie.
I have peppermint tea.
And I just want to say the first thing, if you're watching this, you can tell that the background is a little different than usual. I've always kind of wanted to have something here other than the shelving. And I think it looks a lot better and it just fits better in the space. And that's all I have to say about that. So I have my stuff written down. Did you want me to talk about my stuff and then maybe the next episode you can talk about yours? We could just go back and forth or what?
We can do that. We can do your updates and my updates.
Okay. So, the last episode was May 28th. That's when it was posted. So it's been very close to 4 months. By the time you're listening to this, I think it's technically been 4 months.
So we basically took the summer off.
Yeah. And the big reason, I can't remember exactly what happened, but I think it was just all the things going on with you trying to find work and you...
Well, no, in May I had a job. But you mean like trying to find...
Yeah, like an actual, like a full-time.
We traveled and shortly after that...
Oh, yes, we did, huh?
So,
Yeah, the biggest reason was because we went to Hawaii.
Mm-hmm.
And I did record an episode, but I did not want to edit it. And didn't have enough time, actually. And then when we came back, it was just kind of like, okay, well, it's been 2 weeks. And then I was like, well, I don't know when we're going to find time to record because you were busy.
I don't even know what happened this summer, honestly.
Yeah, it's kind of been a big blur because it's fall now. It's September 24th. And it definitely feels like it. And I am now I'm on crunch time. Because part of the house there is in the bathroom and laundry room renovation, there is the ceilings open. Some of the walls are do not have insulation. So once it gets too cold, we're going to be screwed. So I have to start really trying to get it done. It really shouldn't take that long. And my deadline
that he's put on himself.
Yes, my deadline for myself is Thanksgiving to get it done enough to where I can knock down a wall and have an open dining room to the living room.
Which is 2 months yesterday.
Yeah. So, and one of the biggest things why, like, during the summer I kept putting it off was mentally I was drained. Like, I just did not want to work on it. And then it was the heat, and then the combination was just terrible. However, there were times where I did work on the house and my dad did come over and we did do stuff, and it just got, I don't know, I just got tired. And then it was because you didn't have a job during the summer, we were just basically going off of what we had as like in our savings and checking account to go off of, these last few months. And then finally you did get a job, and you can talk about that next episode. And then I can't remember if I did get sick during the summer at all, but I am a little sick now. I have a cough. And I guess that is another reason why maybe I haven't tried real hard to record an episode in the last few weeks, just because I've had this cough for the last few weeks. With that being said, I'm going to jump into some of the other things that have happened. And the biggest one, I guess I'll just close out the renovation stuff, is that for some reason my truck at one point in time did a check engine light, and it wanted me to change the O2 sensors. And I bought the stuff, the sensors, and I just never changed them because the shop was like a mess and I didn't want to clean it up and to put my truck in the shop. Secondly, I just didn't really have the time or the energy to do it. Then it got to a point where I forgot what exactly happened. The light went away, and then something happened to where there was like a misfire. So check engine light, it came back on. I replaced the fuel injectors. Then I had a massive leak on one of them, fixed that. And then all of a sudden it just felt like at a certain point my truck was just not giving me enough power at a certain point, and it just was like the exhaust, there was a lot of white smoke coming out and smelled disgusting. So I really looked into it and tried to figure out what was going on. Replaced the O2 sensors, replaced the fuel injectors with like ones that weren't on Amazon. And I actually replaced the spark plugs too. And then I was going to do some other stuff to it that wouldn't necessarily fix it, but it's stuff that I would need to do anyways. And today, Ellie and I went on a little drive in the truck because I read last night a little bit more about the problem. And after you replace your O2 sensors, your car needs to warm up. Basically, the sensors need to warm up because they need to get to a certain temperature in order to work. And I didn't know that. So we went on a drive. It was terrible at first, but after I just got up to speed and it went away, and then nothing happened and didn't smell bad and didn't feel rough. And then once we got back, let it sit for just a second, smell the exhaust. It smells like just regular exhaust, and nothing was wrong. So I think I fixed my truck, which I didn't know I did. And now I can stop throwing parts at it. Because one of the issues was I was borderline going to take it to a mechanic and pay a bunch of money. I told myself if this wasn't going to fix it, I would take it in. And it didn't fix it that I thought, and I was going to take it in, and then I was just going to do just one more thing to check that it wasn't going to be that expensive or take that long to do. And before I did that, I looked into it a little bit more and figured it out. So I got my truck working. Hopefully it stays working. I did not have a vehicle to drive for a good month, I would say. Because it was rough at first because there were times where I did need a car and I would have to take her or go with her to work, and then I would have to come back home. And then I would have to go back down there to pick her up at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. And it was a lot of just driving more and a lot of work. And I think hopefully it's fixed. But now I think I'm done with the truck. And one of the reasons why I'm going to finish this renovation, that's why I said stuff about the truck. I need to get something that's pretty big, pretty long, and that probably won't fit in any car. And I couldn't use the truck. So now I can. So hopefully this week I'll be getting more and more stuff done with the renovation.
I'm so excited.
I have the truck working. And the other day when I did borrow someone, I don't know whose car I borrowed. I can't remember. I went to Home Depot to get a bunch of like plumbing fittings and stuff so I can get started on that. And then I was going to get started on it, and then I realized, I probably need to put the flooring in first because of the way that like the drain was going to be for the toilet. It needs to sit on top of the floor rather than on top of the subfloor. And then we had to pick out flooring, and So I think
we have picked out the flooring.
We do think we picked it out.
We have for sure picked out the flooring for the rest of the house because it's sitting in our house.
Yep. And that is something that we did in the last 4 months. Mm-hmm. Is we picked up all the flooring for the rest of the house, I don't think that's what killed my truck because it was close to being overweight for my truck. Because they put that pallet in and it just sank, but it wasn't. I don't think it at all is the reason. But other than that, I've just been doing a few things around the house, taking care of a couple of things, and I have been going to work and doing a couple things there. I've basically just been doing the bare minimum at work with like cleaning, but occasionally go in for like an hour or two to do extra stuff that I can do. And my plan was, and probably still is, this week is the last week in September, and I get paid at the end of the month. And I want to add just maybe a few more hours in so that I can get some more money, because we haven't actually, like, since we both didn't have any income during the summer or really much at all, we've been using what's in our bank account, and we're kind of getting low to a point where we really, really have to watch what we spend. And long story short, we got your paycheck for the little bit of time you worked, and that was a little bit. I mean, it was more than I've had or gotten, but it was not enough to cover everything for a month. And this is your first full month, and I'm really excited to see what that is. But we'll see
too,
what it is.
I'm the one that worked those hours.
Yeah, we'll see what it is at the end of the month, and hopefully we can make it, because after taxes and insurance, I'm not quite sure what it would be. But really quick to mention the weather, it was really hot. I felt like it wasn't as hot as it was last summer. Although last summer we didn't have
AC. So.
For a pretty good chunk of the heat. But this year, I did feel like it wasn't 110, 115. We didn't have those really, really hot days.
No, I feel like it
I think we only had like a
barely
weekend.
got up to like 100.
Yeah.
It's been in like the 90s.
Which, also because of the way our house is and the way that the laundry room and that bathroom renovation, the ceiling's not there, it just lets in a lot of the heat. And obviously you try to prevent the heat from going throughout the rest of the house, but I mean, you just have a piece of drywall and like a really hollow core door as your like barrier from the heat to the cool air. And our AC did keep up. I mean, you could set it at 72 and it won't stay. It'll go around 74, 75. But I mean, it's way better than what we had to deal with last summer. And quite honestly, a lot of the time I had a lot of the blinds or the curtains open, so you let all that light in and then it heats up the house. But on those really, really hot days, you close everything, you get it dark in the house, and it stays fairly cool. But yeah, right now it's windy and it's 64 with the high of 68, and I've just been keeping the windows cracked or open all the way when I'm here at the house, and it just lets in all that nice cool air, fresh air. And spring and fall are my favorite times. Definitely more spring, just because it starts getting warmer rather than starts getting cooler. But it doesn't last very long. That's the sucky part. Summer and winter are really the long seasons.
And I wonder if they're the long seasons, or if they just feel longer because of like how brutal the temperature can be. Like it's extremely cold or extremely hot.
Yeah.
And so I don't know, maybe they are longer, or maybe they just feel longer.
Yeah. I don't know. Couldn't tell you. I can't remember when we got our cat's litter box. I feel like we got it. We got it like 4 months. I don't know how to explain it. Longer than 4 months ago.
I don't think so.
Well, we got our cat a litter robot, and it was pretty expensive, but I would do it again in a heartbeat because one of our issues was he would go into the bathroom and pee in the tub and then get it all over his feet and then track it through the house. He had certain spots where he would pee like on the floor by the wall, and it would soak into the baseboard and the floor, and his litter boxes he would pee and it would get on the wall or get behind and underneath the litter box. And finally, I said I had enough, because Major, our dog, would get to the litter box before we can to scoop up the poop, and he would be eating like wood pellets, and they expand when they get wet. So I'm like, okay, we need to figure out how to make this work with the dog, because there's no way I can keep making sure, like almost every day I would have to either clean up some sort of pee or all the like the little bits of sawdust everywhere, or scoop the poop and all that. And it was a lot. I mean, our cat uses the litter box quite a bit. I don't understand why, but he does.
He does.
And I was just really tired of potentially getting our dog like either really sick or even like dying because he gets like a blockage in his intestine or whatever. So I was convinced. I kind of tried convincing you, but I mean, we basically got it, set it up, did it, and almost immediately he started using it, and I have not needed to clean a litter box since. And even though it was expensive, even though sometimes it's really annoying and it's large, it's not an eyesore and it doesn't stink. The litter actually smells like, I wouldn't necessarily say it smells good, but it doesn't smell bad. And like I said, I would totally do it again. So, and he hasn't peed in any of the places that he used to. We still haven't let him in the bathroom much, just because I'm not quite sure why he started doing that. And I don't want him to do it again. And it's going to be pretty soon where that bathroom is not going to be usable, because once I get that other bathroom done, I can rip out this bathroom and then I can finish the closet, because that was one of the reasons why I couldn't continue on the closet, was because of this bathroom.
So there's just, every time we start a project, another one like starts itself almost.
Yeah, and the main reason why the closet project started was because our one toilet that we had connected to our bedroom, the sink in there was leaking pretty bad. And then I just tore it out, and then I was like, well, let's just combine it. And then when I tore everything out, realized the floor was falling apart, like it was not structural, and I couldn't take out or replace the wall because all the other pipes from the other bathroom, and I can't shrink the closet anymore. And then it was just like, okay, well, I can't do anything now until we get the new bathroom put in. Yeah. And the reason why I wasn't doing that was because it was it was either just became winter or we're just getting out of winter. Like I stopped on that renovation because it was getting cold.
Yeah.
And then I did the closet. And then what do you know? I had to go back to the bathroom. And it takes forever. You're doing it by yourself. You really try to do it without anyone else's help. And it gets to a point where you kind of need to get someone to help or pay someone or just take the time. And then you don't have any money left. So, but one of the biggest things that happened in the last 4+ months is that we've mentioned it because it's happened longer, like way before that. Our neighbor's dog, his name's Cusco, and we named him Cusco because we don't know his actual name. His owners just disappeared. We have a story, but we don't know if it's true. The owner of the house, the dad, he's in assisted living. He is in a wheelchair. He's really old. The son is what we were told in rehab, but he also has
severe diabetes.
Yes, diabetes. And I don't know if rehab is part of the diabetes thing or if it's just.
I think it was just that his diabetes was so bad that he couldn't take care of himself and he needed someone else.
I really don't know exactly why or what happened. Like I said, we just
with the
told
rehab,
the story.
yeah.
But they left without like any warning. It was just all of a sudden, no one was there, and then months and months and months go by, no one. And then finally the son comes back with what I could only assume is either his girlfriend or a sister or just some sort of female friend. And they didn't stay. Like, dropped him off. He left. He I don't know. It was kind of weird. But then he just disappeared again. And we haven't seen either of them since. And no one's been at the house. And actually, recently, the garbage company picked up their garbage can and, like, took it back to the garbage place. And I'm sitting here thinking, I don't think they're ever going to come back. And now their dog, we've been taking care of their dog, feeding their dog, even while they were at the house. Because I believe that he was only getting scraps to eat. Anyways, so their dog, we've been taking care of. A stray comes along and is in heat. Neighbor's dog got her pregnant. We were already kind of feeding that stray. And I was kind of trying to find, like, I put her on Facebook, or I, try to find a home, or like if she had a home, and went through the pregnancy, had the puppies one Sunday morning from like 7 all the way till like 11, almost noon. Had 8 puppies. Mm-hmm. And it was the first time I like saw a dog giving birth, taking care of that dog, letting the dog like do its thing, just watching, make sure she does everything right, or if she needs help. She did a great job, but she like she would come to. We had a pool in the shop, like a small dog kid pool, and she would come in there, give birth to one, and then take it over to where the rest were, which was behind the heat pump outside by the house in the dirt. And then after she was all done, I finally was able to take her and the puppies and put them in the shop, in the pool. And then after a few days of that, basically to try to like speed this up a little bit, moved her inside the house in the new dining room area, but setting up like a faux kennel situation with tables. And then eventually she started to just get out, either because she was jumping over the tables or pushing them open. And then finally I was trying to get her not to push them open, but then she would jump over it. And then I just redid it all and built like with plywood and 2x4s. And then finally she was able to get out again by climbing. And then the puppies were getting old enough to where they just pooped all day, every day. And I was really tired of cleaning up after them and washing all the blankets or the towels and clothes that we put in there. So then I started getting their outdoor area set up, and I had to do it really quick. And I tried to plant like grass, but I really couldn't wait for the grass to grow, because I just could not keep up with the poop situation in there. Like, it was bad. It smelled disgusting, and I was tired of it. So I moved them all outside. Fast forward a bit. They got to be 8 weeks. No. So I can't remember exactly when it was, but I started to wean them off of her and decrease the amount of food I'm giving her and give them puppy food. But they still tried to get milk from her, and she would be wanting to eat as much as possible. And I'm saying this because I think this is the reason why she wanted to get out of not only the area that I had them in, but get out of the backyard, because the neighbor's dog would always be able to get in the backyard, get out. No matter what I do, couldn't keep him out, couldn't keep him in. Mm-hmm. Still can't. And I she never did try to get out, even though it was quite obvious how to do it. And I think eventually, just because I wasn't feeding her as much, she went and got out, and like she was trying to find more food. And so one morning I went to work, came back, and then Ellie's grandma called me to help her with her car. And when I turned onto the road, I went in the different direction from when I left this in the morning. I saw her on the side of the road, the dog, and it looked like she got hit, and there was some blood on the road. And so I was just I didn't check. I didn't know for sure, but the whole time I was helping her grandma, I was just thinking of the dog, and I was like, "Oh my God, it's probably her." I'm pretty sure it was her. So then I came back home. I checked, and the first thing I saw was the collar that I had on her. It was on the road, and so she got hit so hard that her collar came off, and she was dead. So then I called my sister and told her about it, and then I called you because you called me, and then I just couldn't hide the fact that I was crying. And then I buried her, and then I was just like really shocked, and I was like, thankfully the puppies aren't too young still, but I'm pretty sure that was the reason why she was trying to she got out, is because she was trying to find food. But I couldn't keep letting her feed the puppies because the puppies started to have teeth, started to have claws.
Yeah, and they were getting really big.
And she actually had like a pretty nasty scratch from one of them. And they were getting big, and it was just, it sucked, and we loved her. And I mean, it's really sad, but to a point, I was like, I think this probably was, I mean, it sucks the way she died, but I'm pretty sure it was the best thing that could have happened. Just because I don't think that I was going to be able to, I don't know. She could have gotten hit and then not die, and then just got really hurt. Had to take her to, the vet, and the big vet bill, and then I would have to spare, and I would have to find her a home because we wouldn't be able to afford it. But then we didn't have her, and then I just had the puppies. I had 8 puppies, and then I had the neighbor's dog, Cusco. I think I got him neutered while we had the puppies. That was quite a bit of work. That was actually around the time where my truck stopped working. So then I borrowed her grandma's car and took the dog up to the spay and neuter clinic. Got him neutered and kept him inside until he no longer could be kept inside, and just let him back to roaming our neighborhood. But a lot of the time he would be in our backyard or underneath the truck or just on our property. And I've tried multiple times to keep him in the back, but he always finds a way. Even if it's to the front yard, he finds a way. So one of the dogs, I did take him to the vet and got a checkup in the first round of shots, and then one of the puppies I had a home for was my sister's roommate. He took one, and then it was almost about a month later, and I was like, I really need to get rid of these puppies. I cannot take care of them anymore. They're getting too big. They're eating too much. And I'm constantly trying to take care of them. And then I posted them on Facebook, and then I contacted a bunch of rescues and shelters. And after like 2 contacted me, I think they were actually the second one contacted me. They said that they would take them. And the thing about it was someone on Facebook was interested in one of them. So then I said to the rescue, hey, I have 6 puppies. They took the 6 puppies after checking on them, like taking pictures and just giving them a vaccine, and then also just seeing what they look like and stuff. And then a week later, they took them. Then I had one left. And this one was the one that we were kind of thinking about keeping. And after one day of seeing how it would be like keeping her inside, taking her outside, taking care of her, I was like, I don't think we can have a puppy. Too much work. She'd be peeing and pooping everywhere, destroying our shoes. And Major, our dog, just didn't really seem to really want a puppy all up in his face. And I'm pretty sure he would have been used to it. But I don't know. There was just too much going on. And I just really don't think a puppy would have been a good idea. And so I was going to repost this puppy on Facebook. Because the person who wanted her, it fell through. And my sister just called me, FaceTimed me one night and said, hey, my roommate wants the puppy. And I was like, what happened to only having one puppy? And then they came down that night, picked her up. I got a video the next day of the two puppies playing together and having a great old time. And I'm just happy I no longer have any puppies to take care of. The other day, I actually took their like outdoor area all down, planted some grass, watered it, and now I don't have to worry about puppies. And Cusco's neutered. I am gonna hopefully. I'm planning on trying to find him a home, but he's an adult dog now, and he's super nice. There has been some drama within the other neighbors and their dogs and him, but I still don't see how that would have happened.
Yeah.
And it doesn't happen now, so I don't know what happened. But long story short, that's what's been going on the last 4 months of just things constantly changing, things happening, taking care of a bunch of puppies, finding them homes, truck not working, weather starting to cool down, me really needing getting the bathroom and laundry done and starting it back up and not having a lot of money left and just thinking, okay, let's do this, and this. Oh, we actually have to do this first. And then I think you said it yesterday. When are we going to do a podcast? And I'm like, let's just do it tomorrow. And here we are doing a podcast talking about what's been going on. And that's pretty much all I have to say is just, yeah, not to repeat it, but a lot's been going on, and I'm finally ready to get kind of back into, it's kind of ironic, it's going to be winter time soon, so I'm not going to be doing too much, but getting back into the renovation, trying to get it done to a point where it's functional and we can take down a wall and start the closet. I have stuff planned for the shop. I got to work on your car actually not on your car. I just have to do stuff on my truck to make sure it's ready for the winter. And I am not looking forward to the winter, but we'll see how it works. You guys will have to just wait a week or maybe 2 weeks on listening to the next episode to see what has been going on her side of things.
Big update.
Because I did mention it a couple times, but yeah. That being said, I think that'll be it for today's episode of the podcast, and I hope you enjoyed, and thank you so much for joining us. And I'm gonna have one heck of a time trying to edit this because I've been coughing and I can feel one coming on. So yeah, you can find me on YouTube, my name. You can also find the podcast on there or wherever you listen to podcasts. And then for Elie,
you can find me on YouTube also at Elie Spinelli or Elie Budgets if you want to see my budgeting channel, which hopefully I can start up soon. And I'm also on TikTok at Elie Spinelli, Instagram at Elie Grenz, or Elie in Elementary.
So yeah. That's it. So we'll see you guys next time. Bye.